He's
Okay.
in your home. You shot a beard and
Master Chief.
you shot a beard.
I pressed record, so now I'll have it no matter what. Oh, it's not recording my voice. It's good that I'm looking at this and fixing this now. All right.
He's in my bed and I'm in your Twitch chat.
Master Chief, out.
Power of the internet. Quack punk. I miss my Patreon days. Carter, can't wait to have it back.
Hello and welcome to Koalatea Time, the Koala Entertainment Podcast. I'm Skylar Sokol.
My name is Anthony Nicolosi.
From the Mario universe. This is Anthony if he was a Mario character.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
At least it's not your Toad voice.
I don't know if I can do my Toad voice.
That's not no, sir. Chance time. Oh, I can't do it either.
That's really what he was trying to set it up for.
Okay. Anyway, today we have a very interesting topic inspired by our patron question for the week from Evan Coulter, Evco Music, our boy, the guy who provides music for our videos. You know him, you love him, and he asks, "What are our favorite video game soundtracks of all time?"
And bam. And that is fitting from the Music Man. Ooh.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
And so we'll start with that and we'll see where we go. But first, we're just going to talk about our favorite video game soundtracks. I'm assuming you know because I'm assuming the answer is Halo. So do you want to go first, Anthony?
Yeah, I do know it is Halo 2. Now,
sorry to spoil it, chat, but I just had a sneaking suspicion.
I mean, I feel like I've said it a million times on the podcast, but there are, I don't know. Let me first just talk to Halo 2. It'll come out a lot in the conversations. I could almost say maybe my top three because I feel like that would also be. Maybe we should say our top three.
I think that's interesting. Maybe we go top three, but starting with our top one.
Top one is definitely going to be Halo 2 for me. It's the combination. I like it for sure. If I was forced, generally speaking, when somebody asks me like, "Hey, what's your favorite song ever? What's your favorite band or favorite album or whatever?" It's obvious most of the time pretty contextual. It kind of depends how I'm feeling. It depends what I've going through, what's the vibe, and then I'll tell you because it kind of feels like it rotates around a few. But if you forced me to tell you it's my favorite album of music of any kind, it would be Halo 2 soundtrack. And it would, if I had to choose a favorite song, it would be In Amber Clad from Halo 2. And I've talked about the experience before.
I believe that in our very first podcast, you talked about your experience with it.
Podcast. Yep.
Can you give us your vocal rendition of In Amber Clad? Because I remember you did it on that podcast. I think we did another one.
But also there's a build up to it that's epic. It's these ambient like chords with a vocal swell in the background, and it's this part where you're coming through a waterfall. It's so fucking good, dude. It's so fucking good. You're passing through this crevice in the rock. There's the waterfall, and you pass through the crevice. And there's the jackal sniper in front of you who doesn't realize you're behind him. And when you punch him in the back, Cortana says something that makes it badass. Like, "Oh, there's a lot of them.
They're so
that
fucking
should be
cool, man."
Yeah, basically. It's like, "Oh, there's a lot of them. That's no problem for you." And then you punch him in the back of the head. He drops the sniper and you pick up the sniper and the music starts. And so you have this like beautiful, like there's sort of like cliffs with a big waterfall running down the middle. There's nice vegetation. There's a nice big tree around the side. And there's caves all around. And there's patrols of elites going through, of Covenant going through all around, whatever. And this epic music starts playing and you're just sniping everybody, kicking everybody's ass. It's so cool.
That's awesome. So that's your favorite song from there. But what about that whole sound? Is that song just so good that it makes that soundtrack your favorite on its own merit? Or is there more to that really brings it together as your favorite?
I actually really think that the soundtrack is my favorite thanks to the emotional equity wrapped up in it, if you will.
Interesting.
So it's Halo 2 is also my favorite game of all time. Right. So I think it's what those what that game sort of means to me, and what those songs were in the context of the game that makes it that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I just objectively evaluate it musically, I would say that the newer Halos have stuff that's musically more involved and whatever. Not necessarily that I personally like music that's more involved, because I don't think that's true. But like, just in a vacuum, it doesn't necessarily have to have a lot of whatever to be something I enjoy. But I think that experience really makes it so powerful for me. The experience of playing that game for the first time, Halo 2 for the first time, playing it over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I played that one checkpoint, so
that's awesome. So this question is really hard for me to pick my favorite, honestly. Because I have like a lot of video game music that I love, especially individual songs from games. Like, for example, the like barbershop quartet song from BioShock Infinite that plays at like the beginning of the game is like one of my favorite musical moments from games. Lots of stuff like that. But the soundtrack I've listened to the most at this point in my life, I feel like has to be there. I don't know if my top 3 are ordered, but this is the one that's coming to mind first, and that's Sayanora Wildhearts. I mean, I've listened to that soundtrack probably 100 times, I would guess at this point.
Interesting.
I love that soundtrack, and I just think the music is so unique and interesting, and it has a really cool combination of like electronic music with like this like poppy feel, but like deeper than that, and also just the overarching like narrative journey you go on through that soundtrack, if you pay attention, is very cool. Not only to mention the fact that when you're in Sayonara Wildhearts, the game is like synced to the music, and you just like basically feel like you're like living the soundtrack. As Anthony said, it's basically like a really interactive, immersive music visualizer. And yeah. I don't know, that really makes me connect with that music on a way deeper level than I would have normally, just from like an enjoyment perspective. So for me, I think Sayonara Wildhearts is my number 1. And if you guys haven't played it or listened to it, check it out.
You played it, right? For the first time.
Yeah, it's only been like a year-ish or 2 years max. I think it's a year.
Did you play it for the first time on stream, though?
I think it was at the end of last year. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're right.
That's not even that long. So that's a pretty powerful impact.
Agreed. And it's crazy. Well, if you have a question about that, go for that before I change the topic.
No, I didn't. I was curious is it just the music itself is so good? Is it something about the time? Probably not. Like, I mean, I wouldn't call for most people, 2020 wasn't like the bangingest of years per se.
No, yeah, I don't think it was the time. I really do just genuinely like the music. From like if I'm gonna listen to like lyrical, like poppy music, I would listen to that over basically any like modern poppy music that exists. I think it's like perfectly designed music for that genre, basically. And it has like a lot of electronic elements that I really enjoy as well. But moving on to my second one, I gotta say, this is funny, but it's another game that I only played for the first time in the past year-ish. And it like is like I was just like thinking about video game music, and I heard one of the songs from the game in my head. Like that's how, like literally the thought of the subject of video game music made me hear this song. So clearly that is one that resonated with me, and that's Hades, actually.
Oh, okay, interesting.
The music in Hades is amazing. It's so diverse and unique. And like it has, fucking heavy rock ass metal songs all the way to like beautiful acoustic guitar, like female angelic singing voice songs. And that's actually the song that went in my head, is the song that you hear when you go to like one of the special shops in the game that always plays. That's like this beautiful acoustic guitar singing song. I just think like the music of Hades perfectly like encompasses whatever gameplay you're experiencing at the time you're hearing the music. And it's not just like the same sort of feeling through the whole game, which I think a lot of like indie game soundtracks frequently fall prey to, right? Like their soundtracks can be really cool, but they're usually like all the same feeling. They're just like different varieties of music that give you that same sort of feeling, whatever that main feeling is. But in Hades, which is like a pretty basically just an action like hack and slash game, they like managed to create this huge diverse world of music.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hades is my number 2.
I didn't check out Hades music, honestly. I'm gonna go back and check it
I
out.
think you should.
Because
Yeah.
as a side note, I can't always jump into games. I don't find them interesting enough to spend the limited amount of time I have to play them. But
Right, especially with
I
like a
can
ramp up period.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
easily jump into their soundtracks and enjoy them without the music. For example, one of the soundtracks you actually keyed me into was Bastion.
Right.
Love that
soundtrack's so
soundtrack.
sick. Yep.
Never played that game.
That's
In fact,
the
looking at
same musician
as Hades.
as Hades, I believe. Yeah, because he does all the Supergiant games, I believe. So
yeah, I love that music. And actually, I looked at the gameplay. It's just not my kind of game. I would probably have never played it, but I really enjoyed the music.
I mean, all you do is beat shit up. I feel like you might like it.
Yeah, but it's kind of the not first person.
I know. Yeah.
How monkey I am about that.
I do.
So, what's the other one that I was thinking?
Yeah, what's your number two?
Oh no, the other one I just wanted to say before. I also
Meat
probably
Boy.
wouldn't play. No, I was gonna say Meat Boy is one though. Man, Meat Boy was fucking sick. Is Pathless.
Oh yeah, the Pathless. Yep.
So that was another good one.
Yeah, and that's definitely in my honorable mentions. I don't think that goes to my favorite, but I did absolutely love the music in that game. It was so cool.
It's fantastic. It's got like I don't know if this is part of the reason why you like it too, but it's got a lot of like unique acoustic elements.
Yeah,
to it.
It's got this like tribal, indigenous feel to the music, but not in like a traditional way.
Yeah, or strictly traditional.
Right,
maybe
right.
Is the way
it's like a fusion of these, and that's what Austin Wintory's philosophy was designing that music. Was he wanted to use unique instruments in like traditional video game music, like structure, which is I think he really did, and it came out really good.
Yep, agreed. Number 2, damn, I'm thinking outside the Halo franchise because honestly, the Halos take like the first 7 for me. But
yeah, let's get outside Halo.
I'm struggling because I
mean, I think let's talk about games you play, right? Like Rocket League, I think is not a good soundtrack game. Like it doesn't even really have a soundtrack. It's just random music from the world.
So I can talk about Rocket League. Personally, I thoroughly enjoy Rocket League's music, and I always have it on full blast while I play. I really enjoy it along with the gameplay. I agree with you. I think Rocket League's soundtrack is awesome because of like sort of the opportunity they executed on with Monster Cat and like giving.
But I feel like you could just turn on a Monster Cat playlist on YouTube and it would be the exact same experience, right?
It doesn't feel like a soundtrack in the same kind of way to me. I agree.
It wasn't made for the actual gameplay experience.
I love the music in Rocket League. I listen to it all the time and I thoroughly enjoy it, but I agree it's not like a soundtrack to the game in the way I think we're talking about.
Yeah. So I guess other games you play, Minecraft, Ori come to mind for me.
Well, yeah, those are good ones that I can talk about too. The one that was jumping around in my head that I just don't know where to place it is Final Fantasy VII.
Interesting.
So Final Fantasy VII, I actually always sing.
That has One Winged Angel, right? Or whatever.
I don't know them by their names, but
I think
if I listen to it, I can probably find out.
Yeah.
The one I do all the time is the.
That's not Final Fantasy, is it?
Yeah. Yep. And then it goes, and then the fucking boss battle one's like, they're so fucking good. Oh, and you go and you find Red 13 in the desert, and the music's like, it's fucking sick. Like,
I mean, the fact that you haven't played that game in fucking forever and you still have these melodies like in your head, I think is a testament to that music being very significant for you.
The thing I was struggling with is like, is it second place? It might be second place in my head.
Nice.
There are so many video games. It's one theme that all of my favorite games have in common is like cool music. Even like Spyro. Back in the day when I played as a kid, it's like fun, like energetic, like boppy kind of music. And there are some themes from that I still sing out loud. Minecraft is one that I gotta talk about because Minecraft's music is so again, combined with the gameplay similar to Halo 2 for me, I have fallen asleep to Minecraft on several occasions. Like I'm not exaggerating. I literally fell asleep.
Good. I figured it out.
I don't know, man. I could throw on Minecraft music anytime. Like I have a playlist with. This is actually one thing I'll bemoan about the Minecraft music, everybody, is that I hate that I can't listen to the creative soundtrack in survival, because the creative soundtrack actually has my favorite Minecraft song, and you can't listen to it while you're in survival.
Can you not find it like a record of it or anything?
I don't know if you can. I don't think you can, but I'm not sure. So
all that matters is Pig Step.
Pig Step's really good. My favorite one is, I think it's called Area Math, ARIA Math.
Okay,
it's awesome. It's really good. It's not like bumping like Pig Step is, but it's like I don't know. It's got this nice amount of like character to it, along with like a mellowness, like all of the Minecraft stuff has with the fun. Anyway,
I think Minecraft music has a really interesting way of like relating to its gameplay, right? Like because of the like simple teared down nature of the graphics and like the presentation of Minecraft, I feel like that music really echoes it, but also is still like very compelling. And I think C418 and whoever else, maybe more composers since then, have made more music for Minecraft, did a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Maybe it's C418, but all right. Number 3 for me is it took me a second. I had to look through my Steam list, but then when I saw it, I was like, this is the one, and that is Cuphead. Holy shit, is that soundtrack good? Like, I love like fast-paced big band jazz, and honestly very little of that is being made in the music world nowadays. There's very little like really cool fast-paced big band jazz being made. You can listen to it from the past obviously, but it doesn't really exist now, and Cuphead literally took like every element of that kind of music that I like and turned it into a video game soundtrack. So like for me, someone who, you know, plays saxophone, loves jazz music, and like loves like chaotic music, it's like so good. That's another soundtrack I can just like listen to on repeat. There's so many songs from that are like, I mean, they're some of the most like interestingly composed songs of any video game I've ever played, especially because they're like actually live recorded by like a jazz big band, and they're not simple like orchestral music. They're like crazy shit where like a bunch of instruments are doing different things at the same time, and it's just awesome to listen to. I love that music.
No, Cuphead, I didn't play a ton of the game. I didn't get very far. I feel like I think the boss I finished at, I beat the plane lady.
And
I think that's where I called it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was.
But when they release first person Cuphead, you're back into it.
I'm back in. Oh, I'll play shit out of first person. 100%.
Well, first person on a 2D plane though, so you can only move.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some Unreal mods of like 3D Mario. Have you seen that in first person?
That shit's sick.
Oh, okay.
Well, sick in like an awful way, but sick, you know what I mean.
So I don't know what I would say. I would probably say Minecraft for my third, you know, overall. There are so many games that I enjoy. Brittany called out Ori. I loved Ori's soundtrack, and the part in the fucking tree is so good.
The Ori music is really great. Is the second game, honestly, in my opinion, even better music too. You need to play the shit out of that.
I need to play that game so bad. Problem is, like, I want to play while Brittany's also there because we play at the same time.
Well, get her in the room. Get her on stream. Let's go.
We gotta do double team for sure, 100%. I'm thinking, man, the Zelda Ocarina of Time had a ton of themes that I occasionally will go back to. It's another one of my top games of all time.
I gotta say, Nintendo games in general, like Nintendo first party games, have such good music.
You know what happened the other day? Yes, 2 days ago, I was putting my son Steven to bed, and he's getting into bed, and he go, what did he hum? I'm trying to think of what he hummed. Oh, how did it go? I just don't remember. It's the new Super Smash main theme.
Do 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 do.
He's like, da 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 da. I was like, excuse me? Wow.
Okay.
There you go. Man, I could. The Super Smash Brothers main menu themes are so good.
They're great. Yeah. Or even the fucking Wii Shop theme. Like, what the hell, Nintendo? Why is your fucking Wii Shop have such sick music?
What's the one that's like boo boo doo boo boo doo?
Yeah, that's the Wii Shop theme.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's in my head. I didn't even know where it was from.
So sick. Like, how do you make your menu music for your console that sick?
Animal Crossing had really good. Every time Brittany's like playing it and the music's on in the background, Animal Crossing's got some good,
very
like,
nice chill. Ones. Yeah.
Seto
in the chat says Mario Odyssey has a killer trailer song. Yeah, that song, Jump Up Superstar, it's also in the game at a really climactic moment. That's really cool. Is a fantastic song. And I actually read a whole article about the guy who decided on the English lyrics because the song was originally written in Japanese, like all the effort he went to in the translation process to try and make like a compelling English lyric version of that song. And it was a really interesting article. Another fucking crazy thing that I've mentioned before about Mario Odyssey is that the sound effects in Mario Odyssey change key based on the key of the music that's currently playing in the game, which is just like a crazy thing to like. That attention to detail is what makes Nintendo games Nintendo games, right?
Yep. Next level. I agree with you. Nintendo music. You know, I don't know if one of the reasons why it doesn't like resonate as much with me is because, like I've said before, I kind of enjoy the minor palette more, and just generally, when I think of Nintendo music, it's happier and
definitely
whatever.
Is.
But it's fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's phenomenal. It just doesn't stick as much with me, I think. But anyway, those are some of the immediate. You pulled out a couple of good ones. Like I was thinking, these games I've never played, like Super Meat Boy, Undertale. Never played Undertale.
Oh my god! Speaking of amazing soundtracks made by one dude who also made the whole game. Come on, that soundtrack has like 70 songs or something.
Yeah, or more, dude. It has a
like that. Yeah, that soundtrack's amazing, and the like remixes and reimaginings of that music that have come from that soundtrack are also amazing.
Yep. No,
I think that's great. There's so much good music in video games, and I think we're very happy for that since we're both very musical people. That it seems like a lot of studios really put care into the music that they put in their game, and it's not an afterthought.
I think it's also an easy way. There's a kind of famous saying from one of the Bungie designers, one of the lead Bungie designers back in the old Halo days. He said he hated the composer because he said nobody else can contribute their work and immediately make the game twice as good.
There you go.
Like I think it just has a strong emotional impact, right? You know, and when used effectively, you know what some of these games, especially some of these narrative games. Another one that I haven't played that I really like its soundtrack, God of War from the latest God of War. Really like its soundtrack. And you can hear the themes. You know, you can hear the themes being established and played with throughout. Makes me want to play it. But yes, games who can do that effectively immediately, I think, increase the enjoyability so much.
Totally. So, if people want to hear more from us, where can they find us?
You can find us at Koalatea
or hear the music that's going to be in our game.
That's right. Yeah, well, actually, you know what? We'll close this out with a little bit of info for you guys. We spoke a little bit to the chat before this started. The people who are listening right now in podcast get a little nugget. There is a build. We're currently working on a new build for closed group of playtesters, and they'll be coming. I can't see why this wouldn't happen. They're going to be playing it sometime in the next month.
That's 100% yes.
And so we're very excited about that. We're already very excited from like the last play test build and improvements that have been made. In addition, the world should get the first tease of our game in the next few months. Okay. So this is to set expectations appropriately. You're not going to get like this fantastic gameplay expose or anything like that, but it is the first tease of our game. And we're fucking excited about it. And if you liked the topic of this podcast, you'll be excited too.
Hopefully, because it's got some cool shit. Yeah. I'm really excited for it to happen. You guys will hopefully see it soon. And like Anthony was saying, KaleKoalaEntertainment.com, where else?
Yeah, on KaleKoalaEntertainment.com, you can find links to all our social media. It's the easiest place to sort of route you there. But if you follow us on any social media, Our handles at KOKoala_ENT. There you can find our link tree that redirects you to all of this stuff. Discord is the soul of our social happenings. Come join the community. Come submit your clips. If you
come
got
check
cool
out
clips.
that bumpin' Minecraft realm chat.
Yes, if you've seen some of the YouTube videos of all the crazy bullshittery that happens in our Minecraft realm, that's the epicenter. If you're looking for some Halo peeps, some Rocket League, man, all those like
fighting games, anything. We'll play. There people will play anything.
Rollick will play open world early access survival games with you. Whatever you want to play, you got somebody to play it. So come hang out with us on Discord or wherever. Also, we do giveaways everywhere. Every human in this planet, there are some in there. They can come back from the dead.
There are multiple layers of the atmosphere, so like technically we're inside the planet, I think, since we're still inside the atmosphere.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should do a podcast episode about like how it's easier to take off from Mars than it is from Earth because it has less gravity.
Yeah, I think you just did the whole podcast.
If you would like to hear some podcast topics from us, join us and please let us know what you like to think. We're looking at restructuring the way we do these things so we can bring you guys some more informational nuggets to your listening experience.
And like we said, this podcast topic was inspired by a fan question. So like literally, if you have a topic, just come into the Discord, put it in the podcast discussion, and if it's like podcast worthy, we'll make a podcast out of it. Like we're not beyond doing that. So check it out.
Absolutely. Yes. The question came from our patron.
Yes.
If you'd like to support us on Patreon, that would be phenomenal. You also get a shit ton of stuff. You get free stickers. You get free merch. You get quality time questions. You get discounts on merch. You get early sneak peeks behind the game.
Patron has already seen 2 technical actual sneak peeks at the game, correct?
Yes. Correct.
They saw your design doc. They saw my blueprint.
That's nothing for what they got coming.
Yeah.
Nothing what they got coming. If you want to see some behind the scene stuff, Patreon is the place to be. And we obviously super appreciate the support.
Yep.
For that.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you next week.
Hasta la vista.
Goodbye.